Well, it seems like Diamond is Unbreakable is undefeatable because that was another amazing episode. Just perfectly went together with the first one to create a great intro to our new JoJo, Josuke. And I'm really liking him now. I mean, in the first episode he seemed a bit silly, but in this second one he's pulled together quite a bit. I mean, in the first one he was playing the fool a lot. And I'm guessing that's something that he's going to do quite often when it comes to other people. But when he's around his family and Jotaro, he's able to act like himself. And he's actually quite a cool guy. And that's one thing I should point out too. Jotaro in the last season, I really didn't like him because he was way too cool. He just constantly seemed like he always knew what he was doing. His poses were less fabulous and more focused and more manly. Like, he just felt too cool to me, too perfect to me. Especially considering back then he was meant to be a 17-year-old kid. Even though he was built like a goddamn dump truck. Anyway, Jotaro looks a lot better to me in this season. The face is still getting to me a bit, but I'm getting used to it. And just the way he acts is a lot more calm, a lot more mature. Obviously similar to Joseph. The fact that he's now taken on the role of being the older member of the group, the one who is looking after the younger generation. So in this episode, we got the second part of Josuke's starting story. We found out exactly why he's going to go out into this world and become a hero. And that was his tragic loss, because, I mean, all the JoJo's have some sort of tragic loss in their backstory at some point. Most of them right at the beginning, or the threat of it at least. In this case, Josuke has just lost his grandfather, who was busy protecting the city for 35 years as a police officer, and right up until his death couldn't really stop trying to protect it. Josuke has inherited that kind of feeling of wanting to be a protector and look after his city. And that's where we are now. And it was just a great way to get to there. I mean, a lot of people, when I reviewed the last episode, were saying, wow, why do you like this bad guy so much? He's just got to be around for 2 episodes. Keep in mind, anyone from this point on, I have not read the manga. I know it is a very old manga, but I mean, the anime has kept coming out since its initial release, so I'm just going to keep with the anime until they, say they're going to stop for a while. Then I'll probably catch up on the manga. So, I was really liking this bad guy. He was completely evil, properly insane. And his stand really creeped me out. I mean, even in this episode, his stand was creeping me the fuck out. Josuke's is still creeping me the fuck out. But his stand, man, with his psychotic temperament, I mean, goddamn. They made you hate this bad guy a lot. It was all about the rape and the murder and goddamn, I mean, in this episode, he just randomly grabs a dog, bites off the dog's face, and then spits that into the dog owner's mouth to kill him. Oh, he is just so creepy on another level, man. Oh, and the way he manipulated everything to his advantage with the stand situation, letting it rain, realizing his stand could travel through the rain, and then pinpointing the targets in the house, like he'd already put holes in the roof. Then he made it get steamy all over the house, turned all the water on, put the humidifier on. Man, that was epic. I mean, there were very few fights in part 3 that had that good a bad guy stand in them. One thing that I've never liked about stands is they never really explain how much hurting or moving the stand influences the stand user. I mean, for example, in this episode, when they had the stand in the rubber glove, which was a brilliant move by Josuke. Really messed up, but brilliant in the way he did it. It was the fact that he threw it up in the air and caught it, and then the stand user himself when shooting out of the tree. But it's so weird. They never really explain how much you can actually do to a stand and how much it actually manipulates the stand user. It seems at some points a stand can get punched in the face and the user won't feel anything, where at other times you just shake the stand around and it will make the user fall around like it's a voodoo doll. So they really need to explain that for the stands to be more important. But still, this was brilliant. The way they dealt with the bad guy, man, that was horrific. That's what I mean by Josuke's stand being kind of terrifying. I mean, the fact that he's able to knock a guy's face in and completely change the shape of their face is bad enough. The fact that he's now fused a bad guy with a rock and kept him trapped there forever. God, man, that is a terrifying way to kill someone. I mean, I must say in the last episode that I was really interested to see exactly what Josuke's stand would be able to do. I mean, the fact that it could destroy things and repair them already had me thinking, Is it like Jotaro's? Is it some kind of time control kind of thing? Or is it a magician's kind of trick? Is it a medical kind of thing? And then they showed in this episode that even without destroying something, he can in fact heal a person just with his stand touching someone. So his stand is very unique. I mean, he uses it as a fighter. It's got a strong punch and can punch really damn well quickly. I'd actually be very interested to see how it does against Star Platinum. But at its base level, it's really just a healing one. And that makes it really unique and really interesting. The only problem with it being it can't heal Josuke himself. It heals other people instead. So, you know, damn. I really, really want to see more on Josuke's stand. I want to see how they use it in the future. And that moment, man. That moment when he healed his grandfather but realized the soul was already gone. He'd already lost him. That was brilliant. Jotaro and Josuke just standing there looking all sad. That moment when you realized this was a new JoJo being born. This was the heroic spirit coming into him. This was when his quest begins. So yeah, I feel like these 2 episodes were really just the one beginning. I'm guessing that was like the first chapter in the manga. And it was fantastic. I loved it. I love the music. Speaking of the music, that opening is so gay. And I mean that in the best kind of way. It is just straight up pop shit. It's got all the poses in it. It's so bright and colourful. It is gay in the funniest of ways. It's the same kind of way that JoJo should be. Especially since this is a JoJo set in the 80s, when pop bands are a big thing. And I mean, you've even got Josuke doing up his hair like that and worrying about his hair so much. Oh, man. This is greatness. The ending song being from Savage Garden. God damn. That's some nostalgia right there from the 90s. Oh. So yeah, I'm really liking this series. It's drawn me in really well. A lot better than part 3 ever did. I'm wondering now if this is going to be better than part 2 for me. But we'll see as we go on. So let me know what you guys thought of this second episode in the comment section below. If you like this review, wreck that like button like you mean it. And subscribe if you haven't already to see more. And I will see you guys next time.